So you want to be in your feminine energy, but you don't know how. This is something that many people struggle with, right? We hear this all the time now. Getting your feminine energy, getting your feminine energy. Okay, how do we actually do that when we live in a society that is hyper masculine, right? It's built on action. It's built on willpower. It's built on really making, forcing things to happen and performing. We're going to talk about 3 divine feminine principles that are going to allow you to increase and expand your magnetism. Now, feminine energy is the key to magnetism, and we're going to talk about why. The first feminine principle is surrendering. Now, the opposite of surrendering is control. When we are controlling, it's usually because in the past, we had conditions or an environment built on unpredictability, meaning you could not predict, you could not depend on, you could not rely on what we experience as divine protection or safety or security or having your needs met. So if you grew up in a home where finances were unstable, or maybe even emotions were unstable, and you had to walk on eggshells around a parent or a sibling or something of that nature, right? This element of unpredictability. What happens is our inner child steps in to protect us, but also our masculine energy steps forward to protect us, right? Our masculine energy is all about protection. So it steps up and it goes, okay, we need to control our environment. We need to take control over a situation that is, a little bit more chaotic. So this is your way of creating safety. And it's not necessarily a negative thing. We just have to recognize when our masculine energy has stepped forward to protect us from something that we actually no longer need protection from. Okay, so how exactly are you going to surrender? And right now, you might be recognizing that you try to control people and things around you, but it's just coming from when you felt unsafe in the past. When we surrender, what we're actually doing is we're making a vibrational statement to the universe that we trust divine source creator. So if you didn't have a father figure, because the masculine is all about protection, right? If you didn't have a father figure to protect and provide, or if you witnessed your mother or other women be hyper masculine, or let's say you did have both parents, but there still was this element of unpredictability. Your inner child then associated those same characteristics with source. So then subconsciously what happens is you go, I can't trust source. I can't rely on source. Right? I can't depend on source. And if I can't rely on source and depend on source and really trust source to protect me, to provide for me, then we lose touch with our ability to receive. Okay. So our feminine energy, when we're in our feminine energy, we are comfortable with receiving. And one of the gateways to receiving is through this divine feminine principle of surrendering. Okay. Now I want to give you a technique to surrender. I want you to understand that what your mind is trying to create through actions and performance, source can bring to you through ease and alignment. And what we mean by this is you might be thinking about how to make something happen, and source already figured it out. Source already has the solution, right? This infinite intelligence, divine intelligence, universal intelligence. As soon as you had this desire or need that needs to be fulfilled or met, the universe goes, oh, we know exactly how to meet that need. But not only do we know how to meet that need, but we know how to do it in the easiest way. We know how to bring you what you desire in the easiest way, the most aligned way. So isn't it interesting that the most aligned thing is also the easiest thing? But what happens is the universe has to work around our vibration. If we're in resistance, which is the control, which is the force, which is the protection. I'm going to go deeper into this element of protection. If we're doing that, then Source has to go, okay, you're receptive here. You have this limiting belief here. You have your guard up here. Okay, I got to work around all of that to get you what you want, when really it doesn't have to take as long or be as complicated. When we are in an energy of protection, I want to talk about this because when you want to protect yourself, this is also the opposite of surrendering and divine trust. What happens when we are overly protective is we don't allow our creative energy or our intuition to flow, right? Your intuition is associated with your feminine energy as well. And the feminine's ability to hear spirit, that intuition, the intuition is going to allow you to be tapped in, connected into the right steps, the most aligned steps, the easiest steps, the steps that come with the most reward, the most fruitful action. If we have to control and we have to force and we have to perform, that's our ego. We're listening to our ego. We're being guided and directed by our ego. That's not our intuition. This next divine feminine principle I want to talk to you about is love. Why is this so important to increasing your magnetism? I want you to think about somebody that you know that is just full of love. They're playful, they're joyful, they just seem to be in love with life. They're always laughing. Maybe they sing, they dance. They seem to really just be free. They're just free. You love being in that person's energy. And that's because they are magnetic. Love is the most magnetic frequency. And love is the key frequency associated with our feminine energy. Now, bear with me. All of this is going to start to intersect and intertwine. We just spoke about protection, right? Most of us begin protecting ourselves, aka not trusting source, when we experienced our first heartbreak, our first betrayal, our first experience of rejection. And because that broke our hearts, we attributed that same relationship or brought that into our relationship with divine source, where we go, I can't trust people. I can't trust that I'm just going to be loved, right? This person lied to me or cheated on me or stole from me, or, all of these things that can happen within the matrix experience where people have forgotten who they are. We spoke about this not long ago when we talked to you all about forgiveness, that when you're forgiving this person's unconsciousness. This is not who they really are as a soul. This is an unconscious part of their psyche playing out. You want to know from what? From also protecting themselves. Okay. So when you are in this energy of protecting yourself, you're blocking and resisting from the universe, and you're not allowing yourself to be a vessel for divine love. So if being a vessel for love is going to make you the most magnetic that you can possibly be, you are going to have to let your guard down and let source love you. Allow source to love you. Reconcile your relationship with source, recognizing that source was never not loving you. It was just you had these other experiences that triggered fear and created distrust with God, source, universe, creator. Okay. Now we're going to do something here. Okay. We're going to drop you into calling in your higher self, and we're going to drop you into a memory of your first heartbreak, because usually this is where we started closing ourselves off to divine love. And if we close ourselves off to divine love, we're also closing ourselves off from receiving, being a vessel of love, and thus being magnetic. Dropping you into this frame in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your first heartbreak. For some of you, this might be romantic, so your first love. For some of you, this could be a parent that didn't fulfill a promise or let you down in some way, right? This looks differently for each of us. But just sit in this energy. You might recognize that some of this is actually still active, meaning it's still alive within your being. You haven't fully addressed this person that hurt you. Now, I want you to notice when this happened, how did you change? Did you become shy and reserved? Did you start hiding more of yourself? Did you stop doing a particular talent, skill, or hobby that you really loved? Did you stop being as talkative and expressive? Did you start being in a frequency of distrust, so expecting the worst from people and expecting the worst from the world? Did you isolate yourself, right? The way that we can respond to this pain is to contract. Now, when you're contracting yourself, you're not in a vibration of love. So you're not in your most magnetic state. It's going to require you to make peace with your feminine energy, because our feminine is expressive and she's playful and joyful and excited and in love and creative, and she doesn't mind being seen. When it's a healed feminine energy. Okay. So what we're going to do is have you release this person and just imagine them walking away from you through a door. They're just walking through a door, and this is symbolizing them exiting your energy field. And you've been energetically connected to this past memory unconsciously. And I'm going to use some light language here as well to assist, as this is further releasing. Kia matai shetrana kana kiete shotorona kalana isete tiana kurakati shana nana kiadana salaka iesoto ratata shata. And a big thank you I hear from all the higher selves. Thank you. Thank you for serving this purpose for me up until this point. I am now ready to release you. Be gone. And then this heartbreak energy, right? The pain that can sit in our heart. And this can even be physical. We can feel it, right? If you've ever been really heartbroken, it's really pain. You physically feel it. And that's because the heart is the most sensitive, has the most sensitive nerves in our entire body. So this heartbreak energy is beginning to leave. Maybe you need to yawn or cough or something like that. Just signs of the energy clearing. And what we're doing is allowing you to mend your trust and relationship with divine source, because this is the safety. The feminine needs to feel safe before she can receive. If she doesn't feel safe, the masculine is going to step forward to protect and to control. So we're just going to gently tell our masculine energy right now as well, it's okay. You can take a step back. Divine source is here with me. And I see that now, right? We didn't see that. Divine source has always been here, but we couldn't see that because we were blinded by the heartbreak and the pain that we felt from being unsafe in the past. Okay. Asking all of the masculine fractals it is safe to step back. Beautiful. This next divine feminine principle I want to talk to you about is joy. Joy is your key to increasing your feminine magnetism, thus attracting everything you want to yourself on autopilot. Joy is a vibration that says, I am in love with creation itself. So this requires you to really fall in love with the process. You see, our masculine is more so about the result. And this is all beautiful, right? We don't want to be relating to our masculine energy in a negative way because it does a lot for us. And it is a part of the creation process. But the process itself is a feminine experience. It requires patience, the surrender we spoke about, the love we spoke about, and it requires you savoring the details, not being fixated on the outcome. When we're overly fixated on the outcome, it's usually because we're trying to perform or prove, right? I really want this to happen now so I could show everybody, right? Everybody who ever doubted me. I really want to prove to my boss. I really want to earn this position. I really want to show everybody what I can do and who I can be. Proving, earning, performing. Masculine, wounded masculine, relaxing, resting, enjoying, receiving. Feminine, joy. Some people don't allow themselves to be happy because they feel like they haven't fulfilled something. And I want to let you know that is your ego. Stop. That is your ego. Your ego is telling you you cannot rest and you cannot even love yourself or experience joy and be happy until this is achieved, right? The achievement. Until this is achieved, you're not worthy of being happy. But that is the biggest illusion that our ego can be wrapped up in, because all we have is now. All we have is the present moment, right? The past and the future, they're not happening right now, or we're not experiencing them right now. So all we have is right now. If we don't feel worthy enough to at least allow ourselves to experience joy as we are becoming what we desire to be, we're not in a vibration of unconditional love. So this is also about you learning to love yourself unconditionally, loving yourself enough to say, no matter what I've created or manifested, no matter what I feel like I'm still working on or actualizing, I am still worthy of receiving love now, not only from source, but also from myself. And people who really love themselves are so magnetic. This is why we're naturally attracted to people who are confident, right? What we're really attracted to is they're aligned. They're in alignment. They're not in a needy, I need you to love me, I need you to see me energy. They've already found a way to love and accept themselves, and they're exuding a confidence. That's why it's attractive. So this is all a part of increasing your own feminine magnetism.